Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
What's up, Laugh Therapy? Well, all my jokers, welcome to Laugh Therapy, the radio podcast that blends together introspection and connection, elevating your mood and your mental one laugh at a time. My jokers are already familiar with this higher vibration through your sound waves, but if you're new to us, stay tuned for the tingle. Today we're the tingle. Today we're taking a delightful detour from our usual episodes to offer you a special opportunity to get to know us on a deeper level. As your host and a real-life couple, we're diving into a unique mix of philosophy and psychology, exploring thought-provoking questions that reveal our perspectives on life's big questions. And that's not all. We've prepared a fun and revealing game to put our knowledge of each other to the test, which will be super fun. So buckle up for a journey through laughter, introspection, and a touch of friendly competition, all wrapped up in a signature warmth, light, and laughter of love and laugh therapy. Now, some of these questions were submitted by our jokers on TikTok. You guys can follow me at kingmecomedy.com if you would like to submit some questions, or follow us on YouTube at Laugh Therapy 2023. And a few are questions you guys have left in the comments. I am super excited to do this with you guys. And of course, y'all already know I've got my lovely co-host with me.
JD, aka Sunshine. What's good, y'all?
Tell them where they can follow you.
And we just got a TikTok page and a Instagram page, so y'all gotta follow us.
Follow us at Laugh Therapy Radio on both Instagram and TikTok. Super excited. Let's get ready to dive in here, folks. Ooh, did you share it? You guys share this on your Facebooks if you guys are with us on Facebook. We forgot to share it on our pages, so share it and tag us if you guys have us on there. But I'm super excited. Let's go ahead and dive right into some of you guys' questions. Question number one. JD, what is the most interesting place you have ever been?
The most I think it depends on what you define as interesting. Because you know black people got a way of making things interesting. Interesting.
It's the tone. It's the inflection. What kind of interesting?
Yeah, what kind of interesting are we talking about here? So I would say I'm gonna give two different answers. Going home to Jamaica this past summer. Well, it's still summer right now. This past June. I would probably say that's at the top of my list for all places, just because I felt like I was at home and with my people. It was just a great time. Now everybody knows Jamaica's Jamaica, but that is where my mother's side of the family were born and raised, and getting to see all of the history. My mom took us to her old high school, where they used to live. I've been there before, but just seeing it as an adult now and getting to appreciate it all, it did something to my soul. It fed my soul. But honorable mention, I'm gonna say, is Moab, Utah. I know y'all are like, what is Moab, Utah? It's like the best thrill-seeking place in the world. So have you ever seen the Instagram or Facebook video where the guy has a rope connected to like a rock structure, but he jumps off and it's like through a hole?
No.
Oh, if anybody's ever seen that, that's Moab, Utah. Like, I've done ATVs, I've done white river rafting, I've done a Hummer tour on the Devil's Spine. Like, it's the dopest place, I would say, in this part of America, just for thrill seekers. So yeah, that's my answer.
That sounds really interesting. I feel like you had two. I feel like I have three, but they'll be super quick. My first one would be speaking at the state senate, being able to speak in front of the state senate and at Congress as an advocate for families who have been, for families who have been victims of police brutality. That was really near and dear to my heart, not because I personally had, at that time, I had not had a run-in with the law, but I have been a mother, I'm a sister, I'm, an auntie, I'm and all of that, so hearing their stories really touched me and made me want to fight for them, so the way I would expect someone to fight for me had it happened to one of the people that I cared about, like my brothers or my cousins or my children, so that was really interesting. One of the most interesting places because it was filled with a lot of interesting people. I would say an honorable mention would be when I got to take my mom to Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Yeah, that was really, really dope. I became the top salesperson in the country, and we actually won a free trip. It was like a free resort on one of the best resorts in Puerto Rico. We were right on the beach. Like, our room was right on the beach. It was so pretty. It was so beautiful. We got to try real, Puerto Rican rum for the first time. If you want to be drunk, 10 out of 10, highly recommended. I'm not a drinker. So for us, and neither is my mom. So for us, it only took that one shot for us to know that was for grown people, and we should stay in the kiddie pool. We were not as grown as we thought we were. Yeah, that definitely made you feel like you was gonna have to shave your chest in about 10 minutes. It was not to be played with.
Yo, and the Jamaican rum that you stay away from, they put it in all the drinks in Jamaica. All of them.
That explains so much about the demeanor of a lot of Jamaican people I've met. They're either extremely happy or extremely angry, and it explains if that is what's in their system. They don't know what the fuck is going on. And then my third one would be when I told you guys that coworker invited me over to her house, and it turns out she was a tweaker. So I went to her house, and she didn't have any furniture, but she and her neighbor had lots of drugs.
Y'all gotta hear this joke in person.
So I actually turned that story into a joke in my lineup. So when I do stand-up comedy, sometimes I'll tell that story. But that's why I don't fuck with a lot of coworkers, guys. When I was working in corporate, she was a little too excited every day at work, and she pointed out the fact that I never come to anything that she invited me to. So I was like, damn, she called me out. Let me go ahead and go this time. And I showed up to her doggone house, and it was a cracked out pit bull in the front of her house. And when I walked inside, she didn't have no furniture, and it was a fucked up experience. She was sitting on crates in the back of her house, and then offered me a crate. Like, do I look like I'm about to sit on this crate in this living room with you, girl? Where's your furniture? Like, what is happening? What's happening right now? And I know you have money because we work in the same department. Like, I'm not in your wallet or anything like that, but I know I negotiated my salary, and my company was paying pretty well at that time. So I was looking at her like, what are you doing with your check? And then when she pulled out the baggies, I was like, oh, you're snorting it. I got it. I need to go. So that was probably, honorable mention of very interesting places and positions I have been in.
Okay. So if you could instantly master a musical instrument, which one would it be?
The piano.
That was my second choice.
The piano. I love the drums. I would want to learn the drums, but I feel like the piano is so much more versatile as far as the type of music that I sing. And I could also use the piano to rap. Whereas with drums, I feel like you can, but you got to do a whole different type of art in order to you got to add stuff to drums because they can be really aggressive. Whereas a piano, you can make it soft and, sweet for an R&B song or a neo soul. I could also make it dun 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 if I was trying to, add it to something else. So I would say piano.
For me, I would say guitar. Yeah. Me and Legend, we trying to get you to buy us a guitar so we can learn together.
Legend's trying to get me to buy every instrument in the world. All of them.
We want a guitar.
Boy, got asthma talking about, I want to get a tuba. No, you don't. No, the fuck you don't. You so one of your damn lungs can deflate. No, you don't, bro. You just see, he saw, what was it? It wasn't Stomp the Yard. The one with Nick Cannon.
Yeah, Drumline.
And I'm thinking it's gonna make him want to be a drummer. No,
he picked the tuba.
When they're going through the thing and they're like, this is the heartbeat, of the we are the sound, we are the this, and then they're like, we are the this. When they get to the tubas, he's like, I want to do that one. What? You're this big, y'all. My kids they just be saying shit. I swear they do. They just.
You with me, Jazzy? The guitar is so versatile. Like, it can be played it can be used in any form of music. I feel like
my brother plays the
guitar. You always have a guitar player on every set. and there's so many different types of guitar you could play virtually. That's why I chose the guitar.
Can you, this one should be fun. Share a small world moment where you unexpectedly ran into someone you know.
Last month.
Who you running into?
When we went to the Kevin Hart thing, and we were trying to find somebody, and we split up, and I ran into my homeboys. I hope they listening. Doc, if you listening, say what's up, man. But we had a good night that night.
We did. Till we lost our car.
Yeah, y'all don't drink and don't remember where you parked. We were looking for our car for like an hour in the same
She was drunk.
garage.
I was high. It was a whole situation. Because we decided to smoke that night on top of what we had already taken as far as our drinks. It was what do we even drive at this point? Like, I was looking at other people's cars. I was so confused.
I was looking for her car.
The
we was in my car.
We couldn't figure out whose car. It was a lot. It was a lot. But we had a good time.
Yeah, I feel like that happens more now, that we just randomly run into people.
Yeah, small world, or a moment where you unexpectedly ran into someone. I'm trying to think.
Unless you ask my cousin Keely, she will say that I run into somebody I know everywhere we go.
Oh, I found out that one of the guys that I was talking to was married because I accidentally ran into his wife.
No.
Yeah.
Wait. You got to tell us about that.
Yeah, so a guy was trying to talk to me on Instagram. We never did anything. We never, dated or anything like that. He was trying to pursue me. So he asked for my number. We had been talking on Instagram for a little while. He asked for my number. I gave him my number. He started texting a little bit more. He kept alluding that he wanted something, but he never actually specifically asked me out. He would just flirt real hard and then suggest we go hang out, but never specifically ask, can I take you out? Let's go on a date kind of situation, which is what I was looking for. And I think that was him trying to stay safe because his ass knew he was married, right? If it's just us hanging out, he could still say it's a friend type thing. And I wasn't looking for no new friends at the time. So
no new friends.
I never took him up on the let's hang out type shit until he actually asked me out. I'm not going. And then my mom had started a new business with someone. I don't remember exactly what the business was, but she had a trainer who was training her on how to do certain things in this job. And she was trying to get me to come on too. She was like, you'll be great with your personality. And it was something in sales, and I had already done well in sales. And this person was like, yeah, I think she'd be great. And my mom was like, oh, connect with her so that blah, 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 blah. So when I connected with the lady so that I too could get trained, she said this man's name, and it was a very specific name, for us to be living in the same city for her to know his name. And I was like, oh, you know him? And I won't say his name because I don't know if he ever got caught cheating on her with other people or got caught on Instagram, whatever. And I don't know if they've moved past it. I ain't trying to fuck up nobody's marriage. But I was like, oh, you know him? And she was like, yeah. She was like, we're actually in business together. We built this whole thing together. That's my husband, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, husband, like, how long y'all been married? And she was like, oh, we've been married like 8 years
you now. Added the second husband. Yeah, like there's a different variation of
because
husband.
Some people I call you my wife. We ain't married.
Yeah.
But if we go to any of these comics, they think we are, because when I'm talking about you, I introduce you as my wife, or I say my wife, or my wife's at home, or whatever. So a lot of them, if they don't know me personally, like we don't hang out outside of comedy, they think that we are married. So I didn't know if that's what she was doing. So I was like, oh, like husband, like how long y'all been married? Trying to see if she was calling him her husband because they were attached, or calling him her husband because they were married. And no, she was like 8 years. Because it would have been awkward to say congratulations, right? So I was just like, oh! I was like, yeah, I met him through a group, a social group that we're in. That's so funny that you know him. So about this, and I went on to the lesson or whatever, and then I just blocked him.
Well, is she listening? She know now.
I just blocked him on Instagram and shit because I was like, bro, what the fuck? I forgot to block him on Snapchat. And he ended up messaging me maybe a week or two later on Snapchat and was like, did I do something wrong?
Be married, nigga?
Right. Yeah, nigga, 8 years ago. What do you mean? Did I do something wrong? So anyway, so that was probably one of my biggest small world things, because had my mom never started that business venture, I wouldn't have even known he was married. She ain't on none of his stuff. His social media, he never brought up anything. He was always available, to talk or hang out or anything like that. And usually if you've got responsibilities at home, there's some times that you are unavailable. None of that seemed to be a problem for him. So I was just like, what do you think he's doing? Is he telling you these are business meetings, or like, is it an open marriage? I didn't stick around to ask. I was like, well, blocked.
Okay, so what's your preferred method of communication during conflicts or disagreements?
Silence. Yeah, silence, because I need to, for me, I'm one of those people who has fake arguments in their head of shit that ain't even happened yet, right? So I have to have time to differentiate.
So is that what be going on?
Yeah, I have to take time to differentiate what part of this conversation is actually real and what part of the conversation I have previously had, so that I'm not attacking you for shit you ain't even said yet.
Yet, or at all, or ever.
Yeah, so I gotta take a minute to do that, and then after that, I'm usually I'm quiet, because I'm gathering my emotions, so that when I do come forward and say, hey, this was hurtful, or this upset me, or blah blah blah, I'm able to actually communicate it without blowing up. So I've had temper issues in the past that resulted, even in people that I absolutely loved in friendships, that resulted in physical altercations, because I could not control my temper at that time.
Well, thank you for controlling it now.
Yeah, because I couldn't control my temper at that time. And if I feel like I am right, like I know that I am right, and what you are saying is wrong, and you start yelling at me or moving closer toward me, we got a whole different kind of problem now, because at this point you're standing over me or attempting to, and it seems like a threatening position, so I'm going to defend myself whether you have touched me or not.
She has a joke in her set about that,
so,
too. So,
yeah, like, I don't like feeling cornered. So, I prefer silence until both of us are in a position where we can discuss it. Trying to force me to talk about it is going to cause it to be an argument instead of just a disagreement. A confrontation instead of just a disagreement. We can work through disagreements, just don't get disrespectful, right? So give me an opportunity to quietly work through my emotions and what it is that I'm feeling, so that I can communicate to this person that I care enough to communicate to how I'm feeling.
And I think that's where we had to
definitely differ.
Had to work on, because I'm a talker. I like to talk it out right then and there. And that has caused a few issues here and there for us. Because I'm like, nah, let's go ahead and talk about it right now. And she's like, what is there to talk about?
Yeah, I'm like, ain't nothing to talk about. So it either ends up like that, to where I'm not talking, or 5 minutes later she's asking me, why are you yelling? Because I'm up here and I didn't get a chance to work through my emotions. So I'm just like, this, so that it can stay respectful, leave me alone, girl. or man, or whoever it is that I'm talking to, give me like, and it may not take long, depending on the situation. It could take 15 minutes for me to get my shit together. Sometimes it'll take me hours, and I'm like, we just gonna talk about it tomorrow. Like, let me take a nap. Sometimes I just need to process that, because you done pissed me off. Not you personally, but you people. Whoever it is I'm talking to.
99% of the time, it's people. Yeah, so I'm a talker. I like to get it all out there right then and there. So I can move on about my day. Because if I don't, my mind is going to get to racing and wondering and creating all of these different scenarios, and then the anxiety comes. I don't like to reach that point.
And for me, I know what that feels like, so I want to make sure that my communication is very clear and intentional when I'm talking, which is why I need to take the time to make sure that I choose my words specifically, so that I don't say words that are harmful or hurtful to someone that I care about, because I'm speaking clearly just out of emotion, and I didn't have time to put logic and get myself together first. So I don't want to say something that I don't mean, and now that's playing in your head after the argument, like, oh, she don't love me, or she don't fuck with me, or she thinks this about me, when I could have simply said, sometimes I feel like you do this, instead of just coming out and being like, you be bitchy to me or whatever. And they're like, whoa. So yeah.
And see, mine is for a different reason. I've had 4 different concussions on record. And I forget stuff really easy. Like, a show go to commercial and I can forget what the hell I'm watching. So I don't like to not talk about it, because I will forget shit I said, shit she said, or whoever I'm having the conflict with. I will forget a lot of stuff. So that's why I like to just talk about it right then and there, so everything's fresh and I ain't forgot nothing.
What you saying in the comments? One of my exes ended up with
Oh yeah, that was to our small world.
You end up working with one of your exes? My best friend ended up working with my baby daddy, and that was interesting because she could not stand his ass. Well, technically at the time I couldn't either because he wasn't being a good father, but she
She made it known.
She made it known.
She made it known
At his job and his church that she was not fucking with him. Do you find it easy to trust others, or do you approach trust with caution?
I approach trust with caution. Like, I give humanity the benefit of the doubt, and I like to see the silver lining in everything, but everything comes with a little bit of caution. That's just because half of the time being black is with a little bit of cynicism from what being black has costed. So I won't say you have to earn my trust, but I'm always gonna have at least a little bit of wall up. I'm not just gonna instantly love a person and not question anything about
I get that. I would say I'm a happy median. I go off of energy. I'm really good at reading.
I think both of us do that because we'll get in the car after we meet. I'm sorry.
No,
go ahead. I was going to say we'll get in the car after we meet somebody new. Like, they had really good energy. They were really cool.
Yeah, I go off of energy. If I meet someone and just if anything is off in my gut, anything in my spirit, then I'm approaching my trust and everything that I do, the way I move around that person, with a little bit more caution. If I meet them and just instantly it feels like I've known them a little while and my spirit is kind of intertwined, I'm like, oh, that might be a twin flame or some type of soul flame or something. There's something there, that's genuine and authentic, and that brings a positive energy, and I want to get to know that person more. I usually go into it with a little bit more trust and invitation.
What's a childhood memory that still impacts you today?
I'll do a good one and a bad one. I would say the bad one would be domestic violence in my home. My mother, I never witnessed my mother get injured, but I did witness my stepmother get injured in a domestic violence situation. I think it's one of the reasons why I fought so hard growing up. I've told this a couple times on here, not necessarily the full details, but seeing the way she lost that fight made me
wait, which one? Oh my god, this is so terrible. Which one you talking about, the heel one or the
no oh, my daddy pushed that lady down that hill. Oh no, I'm not talking about that one.
She rolled.
That one was funny, but she rolled foot over heel, y'all, like foot over head. She rolled backwards and was like, like.
It's so terrible.
It was so terrible. It was very bad. He should not have done that, but it was quite hilarious. And she's fine, and they're still together today. But they got back together. But the one that I am referring to was with a completely different wife. It was with his second wife. Yeah, and it was just really traumatizing for me, as far as, like, I was like, dang, is that, because to me they were a symbol of love. My mom was single at the time. My grandmother was married, but I didn't really see their relationship as, I don't know. So my dad and my stepmom being married was kind of like my introduction to, ooh, this is what love is supposed to look like, and if that is what love looks like, I need to be better prepared than she was. Because, bitch, that love looked like
that's why you was fighting all your boyfriends.
Yes.
And your husband.
Because as soon as they look like they was about to do, exactly, you ain't about to knock my head between shit, bro. So I was running in they doggone shit off top, because you ain't just about to play in my face like that. She lost that fight real bad. So, in my marriage and in my relationships before then, when people, when I felt threatened in my head, I thought losing a fight looked like that. So I didn't lose none. I fought for my life every time. So I would say that.
Right, R. Kelly. I'm fighting for
I fought for my life every time. You hear me? By the time I made it to middle school, bitches was like, just leave Jordan alone. Just leave Jordan alone. Y'all know she run hot real quick. Hey, Because as soon as you was, because it was just something cool to say, I don't even play like that when we were growing up, or I'll get crunky in here, when we were growing up, something like that.
But you really did that.
Right, but I really was about that life. I was quiet. No, I wasn't. I was nice. I was kind. So most people didn't have a problem with me. They would usually have a problem with someone else in the class that they knew wasn't going to stand up for themselves. And then I would end up involved because I would stand up for the person that wasn't standing up for themselves. And some of those people I'm still best friends with today, they remember me for that. Like, dang, I didn't have the voice at that time. I was, meek or whatever. And I was
so
the one
you
like,
just
you're not
became your daddy and was knocking people's head between the washer and dryer.
I was like, you're not going to talk to her like that. And then, I just started knocking heads. So I became known as the person who was going to clap back. Bullying went down in my school 32%, man. Our district was wonderful. And then a good memory that I have that sticks with me to this day is growing up in a, what's it called, non-denominational church. My grandmother led a lot of songs at the church, and whenever I'm feeling like really, really down, I'll either start singing one of those songs, or I'll start binge eating Gushers and fruit roll-ups, but that's a different habit I'm trying to break. But those were our snacks that we would eat together. Grapes. Well, we would eat fruit together, and we would eat Gushers and fruit roll-ups. So whenever I'm missing her, I go for those things. But she would sing all the time in the choir at church, and every now and then I'll just start singing some of the songs that she sang, and I would walk down to the aisle of the church and always dance and bop or whatnot. And it affects me to this day, because when I hear good music that just feels good in my soul or in my belly or whatnot, it doesn't matter if I'm in a business meeting or if I'm in Walmart or whatnot, you'll just kind of see me start bopping like I did when I was little, when she was in the choir and she was singing, because it just brings me joy. So I would say that both of those are memories. There was a traumatizing one that made me that bitch to not play with, and then there's the other one that made me really, really, really have a love for music and singing.
Oh man, should I start with the good or the bad? I'll start with the bad so I can end with the good. I will say a childhood memory that still impacts me today. Y'all know I got daddy issues, so my dad, when I would go over his house on the weekends, he was a workaholic when I was real young. So he used to work for a chip company. So we would go, and he have his Tom's truck. I don't know if any of y'all remember Tom's. It's a chip company like Doritos, but not as big. And he had a lot of stores that he would have to go stock on the weekends. And he would always introduce me. And this one particular time, I had my Game Boy in hand. This is how young I was. I was probably like 6 or 7. And he was introducing me to the guy who owned the store. And he just kind of tapped me on the head, and he was like, yeah, this is my youngest one, the accident. Yeah. So that's how that went. But, hey, I'm a pretty cool person.
Why do you think that stuck with you, though? How does it affect you today?
I would probably have to say with my, well, it's not today, perhaps, with me not feeling not enough. But I'm gonna answer that part of the question a little later. But let's get to the good stuff. So for my good memory, I got a lot. I'll say with my Uncle Gary, and I can't wait to do this with the boys when they are actually able to swim, not just legacy thinking he can swim. But he would take us to the pool all the time. Jazzy, you almost got kidnapped. We're gonna come back to that in a minute. But my uncle Gary would take us to the pool all the time, and we would play this game called Shark. And he was the shark, and it was basically Marco Polo.
Did I ever tell you about the time I almost kidnapped that little white girl?
What?
It was an accident. I was a teenager. I almost accidentally kidnapped a white girl. Anyway, go ahead with your story.
How did you almost kidnap?
Her name was Mackenzie. And I don't know if something happened to Mackenzie but I feel like that little girl that Legend met last year that was just really, really kind to him, and her name was Mackenzie too. I feel like she is like the reincarnation of the little girl I kidnapped accidentally. Because
how did you accidentally kidnap?
She showed up on my porch. She was lost, and she couldn't find her house. She didn't know where she was supposed to be, and I didn't know where she was supposed to be. I was in 8th grade. Yeah, I was either in 7th or 8th grade.
It was just a meeting.
Yeah, basically, she didn't know where she was supposed to be, so I stood outside with her for a little bit, and I was like, do you know if you live that way or this way? And she was like, no, so I invited her inside. I made her some food. We sat, we chilled, we kicked it.
And your mama came home?
Yeah, I decided she could stay. I had already decided she could chill. Like, she was cool as fuck. And Mackenzie was like 4. Like, me and Mackenzie was cooling, bro. We were watching TV. I had made her snacks. We were sitting and cackling, and my parents came home late that night. It was like 8 something, and it was cops everywhere in my neighborhood. And my mom was like, it's a bunch of police out. Jordan, who's that white?
I can see your mama face right now.
She walked in and she was like, it's police everywhere. Jordan, who's that white? I was like, this is Mackenzie. She was asleep. Mackenzie was asleep on the couch with a blanket and everything. Yeah. I was like, this is Mackenzie. She's lost. Mom was like, you didn't think to call anybody? Like who? I don't know her people. She don't know no phone numbers. Who was I supposed to call? And she was like, me. Why would I call you? You ain't no mama. I was like, what? You my mama. I was so confused. But yeah, I accidentally kidnapped a 4-year-old.
I'm so glad your brain's caught up.
You're right. And then I had to walk her to the police and tell them that I had her the whole time. She was fine and fed and bathed, and she could go to school next day. Sorry, here you go. Here go your baby lady. Anyhow, forgot what we were talking about, but I thought I would share. But how do we get on the subject of kidnapping? Oh, Jazzy.
Oh, yeah, Jazzy.
Jazzy said she
almost got kidnapped.
My cousin got kidnapped when she was younger. She was gone for like 4 days. And
But you laughing.
Because my grandma, you know how your grandma always say if you ever get kidnapped, they gonna bring you back?
Because you bad as hell?
They brought her back. We wasn't scared of kidnappers. No goddamn how. We was like, oh, we know what to do to get out. We gonna show our motherfucking ass. Basically, she said she just kept asking to go home. She kept asking to leave, I think was her story. I'll have to ask my siblings. But she said she just kept crying and saying she wanted to leave. She wanted to go home or whatever. And then I don't remember if they let her go or if they untied her and she ended up taking off running, and they just didn't. When they tried to chase her, they stopped chasing her because people started seeing that she was running or whatever, and they just went on about their business. I can't remember which one of those stories is how it went, but she made it home. They let her go.
Yo, that's wild.
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. It wasn't a Carly Russell situation because we were just kids, but she was gone for like 4 days. She was on the news and everything. She was gone. We was like, oh no.
Damn.
And you know we black, so when she got home,
kidnapped.
Yeah, when she came back, we were like, is she gonna get a whooping? My mama was like, what? Like, what? No, like, she gonna get a whooping because you told us not to be talking to strangers. You gonna get her ass whooped.
Yo, that's wild. Like that's only black people that do that kind of stuff, though. If you die, I'ma kill you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Black folks are the only people that tell a child to not stick their hand in the socket, then they stick their hand in the socket,
get electrocuted,
and then still whoop them. Why you still whooping them? They got the punishment already.
What would you say is the most memorable concert or live performance you've attended?
Oh, by far, Erykah Badu.
I still want to see her in concert.
Erykah Badu. Like, it was transformative. She touched your soul with that concert. If you have a chance to see Erykah Badu live, you have to do it. You have to do it. Honorable mention, Tank.
I'm going to go with live performance. I loved watching The Color Purple live. It had Cynthia Erivo in it. It had Danielle. What's her name? Oh, girl from Orange is the New Black. She sings a song.
Her name starts with an A. Her last name?
No, that's Uza that you're thinking of. Danielle played what was it?
Tasty.
Tasty, yeah. She played Tasty on Orange is the New Black, but she played Miss Sophia.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, on The Color Purple.
Oh, I know that was good.
Killed that shit, bro. Cynthia Erivo had me damn near in tears when she sang I Was Here or I Am Here. it was my baby daddy took me to see it, and Legacy was only a couple months old. He was on my chest at the theater, and he understood the assignment because he shut the fuck up the whole time. I was really excited. He was only like 5 months old, so he wouldn't have known, but he understood the assignment. He shut up the whole time so that I could enjoy it. He took me for my birthday, and it was an amazing show.
Jazzy, you got to tell us, how was the Beyonce concert? Was it worth it? Y'all tap in the comments and tell us what was y'all's favorite live performance you attended. Yeah.
Tell us so that we can make a list, because we need to go see them out.
Yeah. Do you have any hobbies or interests that you're really passionate about?
That y'all don't already know about?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I was like, because y'all already know comedy and entertainment. Writing. And I feel like people know that I can write because you've heard me write my own lyrics to some of my raps, or you've seen me write my own comedy material. But actual writing, like poetry, books, film, writing scripts and whatnot, is something that I'm not only really, really good at and really, really talented in, but I'm really, really passionate about it, because I feel like I can really bring those kinds of things to life if only given the opportunity. Like, if I had a fire-ass director, like the team that you need to actually make my shit into movies right now, I feel like I would have a lot of best-selling films and TV shows out right now. Like, if I had the budget to put together my own production company and stuff right now, I feel like I would have some of the best TV shows and films out right now, just based on some of my plots. Because if you think it's going to be predictable, because I like drama, and I like, not in my life, but I like drama films and sci-fi films, like Lovecraft Country.
Oh, yeah.
Greenleaf, which is, another drama centered around black living. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things. So, yeah, I would go with writing. What about you, baby?
That y'all don't know about. I mean, everybody knows I love basketball. And the radio. I would say something that not many people know is that painting. Because I customize shoes as well, so y'all can check me out if you want to. Actually, all those photos was on my old Instagram. I gotta post some of those. But customizing shoes, it's like, painting is so calming. Like, you're in your own world, and for a while that was my stress reliever, especially after I had surgery and I couldn't do any activities for months, just being in recovery. So I learned how to customize shoes. After I had a pair that was customized myself, I was like, wait a minute, I can do this myself. I'm the ultimate learner. I'll learn how to do anything in a damn minute. And I learned how to customize shoes, and I was in my happy place for a long time customizing shoes. I just haven't brought them out since we moved here.
Well, I got a couple you can customize. I keep telling you can do these.
Jazzy said the Beyonce concert was worth it, with a big yes.
Yeah, I was like, I believe it.
Yeah, she don't do no half stepping.
Yeah, I believe it. That lady is a performer. She was born for it. What do you believe is the purpose of human existence?
Without giving a long, eloquent response, I would say love and connection. Whoever the creator of the universe was, whoever you believe created the universe and the planets and us, I feel like they were lonely and they needed some sort of connection with other beings, and that's probably why we were created. To have that connection and share love.
I feel like,
because I'm sorry. But because they do the experiment, they did the experiment with babies, right? When you have a newborn baby, if you don't touch them, you still feed them and give them all their needs, right? But don't actually touch them and love on them, they don't do as well. Versus when you have a baby and you skin to skin share the love and the connection with them.
I would say I believe the original purpose of human existence was experimentation, and I think our purpose is to teach and learn. I feel like when universe or source or God or whatever you choose to call it made us, there was no real intention. It was experiment. It was, I wonder what's going to come from this. You have a hope, just like when you have children. You hope that they turn out a certain way. They never do. They don't. My parents are super proud of me, y'all. Don't get me wrong. They love me and they are super proud of me. I am nothing like what they thought I was going to be. They just knew I was about to be a doctor or something. And I had no interest in school whatsoever. By the time I got to college and I was like, oh, there's a party over there? I'm going over there. Like, fuck this
She
class.
just told her mama she went on tour.
I did. I went on tour with Travis Porter and everything. I was supposed to be in class. It wasn't for me. I feel like it was the same. When Source created us, he had a vision of what he thought, or she had a vision of what she thought we were going to be, and we have made our own decisions and learned and taught different things since then. I still think that Source is proud of us, always proud of what we've accomplished, even if we went in a completely different direction than what they had originated. But I think it was experimentation. I don't think half the things that we've invented as humans were supposed to be invented yet. I don't think that they expected us to do, I don't think the gods expected us to do what it is that we're doing, and that's why a lot of the planet is beginning to die. Because although we're going in a productive direction for us, it wasn't necessarily the best direction for Earth, right? Where they thought we were going to learn how to cook and teach and love each other and whatnot and commune with each other. We have continuously built ways for us to separate ourselves from one another, whether it be by race, intelligence,
so we not doing
appearance.
What the fuck we supposed to be doing.
I feel like it was experimentation to see what we would do and how we would learn and what we would build, and we built destruction. That's what I feel like. It was experimentation, but I also feel like we've built some really great things. We've made a lot of leeway in medicines, in knowing how the human anatomy and human brain and organs and things like that work. I feel that we've made a lot of leeway in the way that we communicate with each other. In languages, we've created different languages, more words. We've connected with each other on different levels. I feel like we've done just as much good, if not more good, than we have damage. But I do think that the damage is substantial and that we were created for experimentation, and we kind of just went rampant. Because I feel like if we were created for connection and love, and because they were lonely or God was lonely, I don't feel like half of the things that were written in the Bible or in religion, or half of the things that we experience, Source would allow us to actually go through. If it was just I feel like we would have automatically just been protected and everything would be joyous and we would all be able to just commune if they just wanted love and connection. And if we just wanted love and connection, everybody would just have love and connection. We wouldn't be out here struggling and suffering and begging for love and connection if that was what we were made for. So, my personal
Why
thought.
did you make a child?
On accident. I was fucking. I do not
Legacy
have a
you had
single,
on purpose. Hold on.
I was going to say I do not have a single
Why did
solitary
you have
child except my
legacy?
youngest that was on purpose.
Why did you have legacy?
To start over. I got married really young. I started having children as soon as I got married. I got married in August and found out I was pregnant in November. So it was very quick. Everything happened so quickly. And I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to be a mom. I thought I was. In my head, I thought I was. And by the time I realized that I wasn't, it was too late. I already had 2 kids. So I wouldn't necessarily say that I fucked up by having those 2 children, but it forced me to mature in areas where I had no example of how to mature in that way, because my mother wasn't ready to be a mom when she had me either. She had me at the same age I had Piglet, and her mom had her at the same age that she had me. So it was a generational cycle of having children at 19 years old and just making it work, because I love my mom. My mom is an amazing mother, and my Gagi was an amazing grandmother. So in my head, if they could do it, I could do it. I shouldn't have done it. I would have definitely preferred to wait until I was around the age that I had legacy to start having children, closer to my 30s. But I had legacy as kind of like I am ready now. right? Like, if I start right now, my career was where I needed it to be. I was in the position to buy a house. I had been with his father for a while, and we were talking marriage. And I had been married the first time I had a baby, so I wasn't necessarily concerned about being married first this time. Before having a baby, I was like, been there, done that. Divorce happens. So if we're going to be together, then we're going to be together. And if we're not, then we're not. But I'm ready to be a mother now.
Yeah, but you had him out of love and the connection that you could have with him, right? Not
with
out
legacy?
Of an experiment.
I love my child, but I don't think I had him because I loved him. I didn't know him yet.
I'm saying that is why you produced a child, because you wanted to love and connect with the child, because you thought you were ready, right?
I don't know. I'd have to really dive into my psyche then. His father wanted a son, a biological
But you
son,
don't
and he had
just
done
say,
a really
okay.
good job with Legend. He had done a really good job with Legend, with us being together, and I knew I was ready. I was financially in a position to where I could have to. There were no negatives to having another child. So when he said that he wanted, you know, a son from us, our biological son, I had no reason to object. We could afford it. I could have another baby. I was healthy. He was healthy. We were in a good place in our relationship. There was no reason for me to say no. So I feel like I agreed because I had no reason to say no. And I produced said child because I was in a stable position to do so. And then when I had him, of course, I loved him. Well, when I conceived him, of course, I loved him. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's kind of how I feel.
If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Historical figure. I would probably...
Dead or alive?
I would probably go with... I would probably go with Sojourner Truth.
Yo, that name just came up in my head. I don't know if I was reading your thoughts.
Yeah, I would probably go with Sojourner Truth. Excuse me. It's hard. It's a three-way tie. Sojourner Truth, Maya Angelou, or Bernie Mac.
You gotta pick one though.
Ooh.
Okay, I'll give you two.
You know what? The activist in me wanted to say Sojourner Truth, but I'm actually going to replace Sojourner Truth with Whitney Houston.
I knew that name was coming. I knew that name. Y'all, we love Whitney.
I love Whitney so much.
We love Whitney.
And she's
Nippy.
She's my spirit animal. Love us some Nippy. We share a birthday. She was also a Leo, August 9th. Shout out to Whitney Houston. I'm going to go with Whitney or... Maya Angelou is kind of who set me on my trail to become a comedian, though. But Bernie Mac.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Whitney or Bernie Mac. Just because I know that dinner's going to be interesting as hell.
Well, I'm going to go with two people who I think I could probably gain the most from. Not in a selfish way, but just fill my cup up. Oprah and Obama.
There was another question that we had that I wanted.
I want to move on to the game, though.
Yeah, I want to move on to the game, too.
We playing the game, y'all.
Okay, so the game is really simple. It's just going to see how well Jess and I know each other. So I'm going to ask a question. She's going to write what her answer is. I'm going to write what her answer is on my paper, and then we're going to see if it is correct. And then I will do the next question. So the first question is, do you prefer movies at home or movies in the theater?
And I'm answering for me
You're
or for you?
For you. Oh, no. Yeah, let's do it that way. You answer for me, I'll answer for you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me know when you're ready. You ready?
I'm ready, yep.
1, 2, 3.
I put home for you.
And I put theater for you.
Do you prefer them at home?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I do prefer watching a movie in a theater.
It's different when we have the kids because somebody got to use the bathroom.
I agree. If it's just us and it's a date, or even if I go solo, I prefer watching a movie in a theater. I like a blanket. I like a drink. I like my popcorn, and I like people to shut the fuck up. And that's it. That's it. I can sit in a movie theater all day. As long as I always forget a blanket. But if I'm comfortable and I'm warm, oh yeah. Okay. And then why do you prefer them at home?
Because I can do all that at home.
She's like, I can get comfortable.
And it's free.
Understood. I prefer luxury experiences.
No, but I do love going to the movies as well. It's just a lot easier not having to pack up. And
do you prefer a beach vacation or a mountain retreat?
Come on. We both know this answer.
Yeah, we both do know this answer. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We both put beach.
For sure.
Both beach. I want to do a mountain retreat, but I want to do it as like a couples thing. So, Jazzy, I need you to get your boo thing together. D and I don't know if you own here, but D and your wife, we gotta put something together. I want us to do a couples trip out in the mountains and do some things like this where we can play games and make sundaes and cook dinner together.
And it's lots of mountains out here, so
yeah.
For all of our peeps who are thinking about visiting Vegas,
let us know what dates you're coming.
Yeah,
but to
so we can.
My friends and family who would like to participate in like a couples weekend, let us
In
know
the
because I'm interested in planning that. Y'all know I'm the friend.
But
that
you know
does it.
she gonna have like air mattresses for the tents. If we decide to stay in the tent, she might try to rent an RV or something.
Very true. Y'all, first of all, don't try to act like y'all don't enjoy the fact that I enjoy luxury experiences, because they will complain that I'm bougie, but they will also utilize everything that I brought. Like, she brought an air mattress and she brought a lamp and she brought a whatever to go camping. Yes, bitch, but can you see? Okay? Because you needed my lamp, didn't you? Y'all sure are comfy on this air mattress, aren't you? Like, who's sleeping on the floor? Not me. I have a thing about sleeping on the floor, guys. D just texted me and says she's all for it. Her and her wife are all for it. So, couples thing, we need to start planning it. Anyway, pizza or sushi?
I'm answering for you, right?
Yes, you were answering for me.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, damn. Because we love both of those things.
I know, but I'm just going to go with what I think you're going to say.
Ooh. Ooh, I don't know for you.
You should.
I want sushi.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, I want sushi. We don't eat pizza like that. We don't eat sushi like that either, but when we do, we love sushi. And then, well, okay, we've got a couple more minutes. Board games or video games?
Oh, man.
I know.
This is hard, because we do both.
We do. I like games.
Yeah.
Board games or video games?
I'm answering for you.
You are answering for me.
Damn. You know what? I'm just gonna go. Now, if it said card games, then that would be different.
Let's go. I went video. For me, it's actually board.
Me too.
So we were both wrong. Both of us went video games, and we both prefer board games. I was like, for me, it's actually board games. I love Scrabble.
Yeah.
Monopoly, Trouble. I whoop all y'all's ass. Let's get it. Sequence, yeah. Coffee shop or an ice cream parlor? You already know my answer. Coffee shop.
I don't.
You don't?
Because we do both.
We do both.
You know what? I'm just going to go. All right.
I want coffee.
I want coffee too.
For me, it's ice cream, baby. You know I love ice cream way more than I like coffee.
Hold on. The midnight during gambling, where do you go?
Midnight during gambling?
Yeah, when we
Starbucks.
Yeah, coffee.
And what do I get?
Oh, yeah.
I don't get coffee. Yeah, I was like, I don't get coffee, though. But when we go to ice cream parlors, what do I get? Ice cream. I love ice cream.
But they don't sell nothing else in the ice cream parlors.
That's very true. Well, no, they do. They sell cake and shit.
With ice cream in it.
True.
All right.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Oh, come on. I don't even know why that's in here. We just had this conversation the other day.
Night owl.
Yeah, we both night owls.
I am not a morning person. I've gotten better at being kind in the morning.
She has, y'all. I want to celebrate her for that. She has been kind. I can tell when it's been a little forced, but she has been kind.
I am not a morning person, but I'm getting better. I am getting better at getting up and still having energy for other people. Because when I get up, I only have energy for myself. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want none of that. No good mornings, none. Leave me alone. And I've gotten better at waking up and saying good morning and giving my kisses and just having enough energy for other people.
I want to give a shout out real quick to Stacy. If you're listening, say what up. This was Stacy's idea. So we do take ideas for shows, the Get to Know You show. And that is what we have for today. And y'all are in for a treat next week. We are almost out of time.
We are, but we still have 1 minute. I wanted to ask one more. Would you rather do an amusement park or the zoo?
Come on. You know we riding rides. Let's go.
We're riding rides.
Yeah, all day.
We love
when we
some
first
Six
started
Flags.
dating, we was at Six Flags like 3 times a week.
Yeah, I do love some roller coasters. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Laugh Therapy this week. We do hope that you guys enjoyed it, enjoyed some of those personal questions, and are getting to know you better. Please feel free to submit more questions if you want. For times like this when we are opening up and giving you guys those getting to know us questions. Only a few of you guys submitted questions this time, so please feel free to submit some more. We absolutely love it and love getting to know you guys. Catch us next week where we will be interviewing the amazingly talented Giallo Riddle, actor, producer, writer. Super excited to have him on the show, so tune in next week so that we can get to know him, where we'll be asking some of these questions to him. And it'll be really great. Catch us every Thursday at 4 p.m. right here.
See y'all.
Catch y'all next week.